Okay, example number 3, trig equations and general solutions. So over here we have sine of this angle theta minus 30 degrees equal to cos of the angle 2 theta. Okay, and since these two are equal to each other, we need to solve theta for this equation. The issue here is that we have sine and cos part of the same equation. So we kind of need to get rid of either sine or cos so that we can solve theta. So I need to get rid of one of them. Now, this is a compound angle, theta plus, or theta minus 30, and this is a double angle, 2 theta. But if I expand these to any of the identities, it would just complicate the equation further. So rather what I'm going to do is get a cofunction for cos 2 theta, which will then be sine 90 minus 2 theta. Okay, I want you to notice now, if I just rewrite this, that I have sine on both sides of the equation, and it's just sine with an angle. So let's call this angle A, and then we're going to call this one angle B. So if sine of angle A is equal to sine of angle B, that must mean that A and B are equal to each other. So I'm going to say these sines then just cancel each other out, and these angles are equal to each other. Okay, and then I'm going to solve theta by taking the 2 theta across and then adding it to this. That gives me 3 theta, and the 30, I'll bring that across, I'll add it to the 90, and that gives me 120 degrees. I then will have to divide by 3 to get theta as 40 degrees. Okay, but now a couple of things to keep in mind. The first thing is, this is only the answer for the first quadrant. Okay, so we still need to find answers for the second quadrant, since sine is positive in the first and in the second quadrant. Okay, so we were talking about this angle A and that angle B. We said it's equal to that one, and this was the first quadrant. But I can also write out an equation for the second quadrant by making this angle A equal to 180 degrees minus the angle B. And that would be the answer in my second quadrant. So I'll just obviously have to simplify this a bit, and I'm kind of going to try and do some quick math. So 180 minus the 90, and then plus that 30. That gives me 120 degrees. And then this theta, well, since this is going to be positive, I'm going to minus it on that side. So that gives me negative theta on this side, if I minus this one. And then I divide by negative, so theta is simply equal to 120, or negative 120 degrees. I barely got enough space for that, but we did kind of manage to fit it in there. So here we now need to write our plus k 360s. The thing is, you actually start writing plus k 360 here already. The moment you cancel your signs, you start writing this. But I don't have to write it all the way. I can just write it at the very last step. And here at this last step again. However, here I'm dividing by 3, so I need to divide that also by 3. This then becomes plus k 120, since 360 divided by 3 is 120. This one we didn't divide by anything except for the negative, I guess, but that doesn't change k if k is an element of all the integers. So it stays plus k 360, k an element of z. And that's your final answer.